Hey guys, welcome to another video. We're doing a deck tech for an Izzet spells list. I was originally going to do this in Historic with Izzet Phoenix, but I really wanted to do something in Standard, and Izzet is one of my favorite color combinations, and so I found this list, and I think it's really interesting. It makes use of a couple of new cards from Zendikar Rising. The main new addition is Magmatic Channeler, which, when originally spoiled, we all kind of knew. Okay, yes, it's definitely the spells, matter card of the set. If it's going to see play, it's going to see play, and is it? And how it just depends on how good it is. And I think the answer is in this case we'll see, but definitely in terms of Historic and the other formats, very very good. Can become a 4/4 very quickly, and being able to discard a card. With graveyard synergies with itself and with other cards is really really useful. We got a bunch of 1-mana cards and cheap spells in Opt, Crash Through Shock, as well as Spikefield Hazard. Spikefield Hazard is not as straight up necessary because cards like Lotus Cobra aren't as much of a must answer now. Because of the bans, but in this case, we are a spells deck, so having as many of these as many spells in our deck, while also limiting the lands. So this being both a land and a spell, especially a 1-mana spell, is really really good. And there are also, I'm sure, going to be cases where we kill a 1 toughness creature or just do 1 damage, and the 1 damage matters. We have 4 copies of Frantic Inventory, draw cards. This is a card that I think works really well with Magmatic Channeler because the first copy of Frantic Inventory is often pretty bad. 2-mana draw card is not really what you want to see, but you can discard it to Magmatic Channeler to use its ability without having to cast it or spend mana, and then the next one that you cast is going to be much more powerful. We have 1 copy of Royal Eruption and Thundering Rebuke. Royal Eruption we're not going to be kicking most likely, but it's important to have a little bit of face damage, and Thundering Rebuke in case you have four toughness creatures like Questing Beast or things like that. Of course, Doret or Sprite Dragon is definitely necessary. One of the best spells matters cards in Standard currently. We got Shadow Skull Smashing, which again, I think in this deck we're going to be casting a little bit less, but is still a useful tool to have at our disposal. Then we have the rest of our threat, which is Brazen Bar, Bone Crusher, and Stormwind. The adventure creatures here providing spells and creatures, and then of course, we don't need to talk about Stormwind Entity. Nothing interesting in the lands here. We have Castle of Interest, but I don't expect to be activating it often. And I think it's nice to be only running 1 temple and getting to run 4 copies of the Pathway land. We do have a sideboard here. I'm not sure exactly what the creator of this deck had in mind when they made this. You got 2 copies of Red Cap Melee, Confounding Conundrum, which I don't think is necessary now. I feel like this could just be something else, but we'll keep it in there, see if it comes up. Negate, Shredded Sails, Thunder Rebuke, Mystical Dispute as normal, and then I'm not exactly sure what this Ember Cleaves are for. They might be for the mirror. They could be against maybe faster decks. So if you're just like, I just gotta do that, or maybe against control decks. That doesn't seem right, because then they just counter it. I don't know. Maybe if you're like, I really need to push through damage. Maybe against like the life, any deck that gains lots of life. I don't know. We'll see if I ever want to bring in this Ember Cleave. I'm going to do best of 3 here because I think we found that best of 3 matches are better here. Actually, traditional, right. As we get into the game here, if you enjoy this content, you like this deck, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and so that you can watch more of my content. Really happy with how Standard is going so far. I feel like it's moving in the right direction, and hopefully that trend continues. Alright, so we won the die roll. We're definitely going to be on the play. And what do I think about this hand? You know what? I think I kind of have to keep it. I don't think it's a mulligan, right? Like, we have spells and we have lands. So I could just cast Crash Through and try and draw a better card. I don't think this is a mulligan. Like, as much as I don't really like it, I can't mulligan this hand. It's just not bad enough. Our opponent, though, mulligans. Alright. Alright. I'm going to lead on a mountain and just cast Crash Through here. Alright, Stormwind, this hand just got way better. So now I can cast, like, Petty Theft on turn 2, and then turn 3 be able to shock Stormwind. Alright, I'll play a land and pass. Fabled Passage here from our opponent is kind of interesting. So we'll see what color they end up being. I'm expecting green. Usually if they're Fabled Passage, they're going to be green. Oh, but they see blue. Alright. Well, I called it. Alright, so what does that mean? What does that mean for us? Ooh, Tangled Foliage. So, I could cast Brazen Borrower here. But it's actually better for me to not cast the shock and just cast those. So I can go land, shock, Stormwind. Yeah, this is a really powerful turn. Alright, I think I want to keep the cards rolling, so I'm going to keep this Frantic Inventory. This also just makes good use of the mana next turn. I play this as a red source, and then I Brazen Borrower, or sorry, Petty Theft and Frantic Inventory. Or I can just shock. I think I'm going to keep denying our opponent mana here. Seems like the right way to do this. I'm just going to Frantic Inventory. Do I want to Shatter Skull Smashing? I don't think so. I think I'm playing this as a red source. I don't think I'm shocking their face just yet. It makes no difference between casting it now versus later. So, Evolving Wilds. So there might be a landfall deck. Seems like they either, or they might just be a 3-color deck. I'm really not sure. Sure. Ooh, that's really nice. Could also just Scatter Skull Smashing. But no, I think I am Frantic Inventorying, drawing 2 cards. That was very fortunate. This hand got way better. This got so much better. Alright. Now maybe I've changed my mind. Now I think I am shocking the Scooz. And using this Petty Theft for something. I don't think I care about them sacking this to gain 3 life, right? I think I want to wait and see what they do. Like, I think if I play this, if I use Petty Theft and then they, yeah, okay, that's great. So, you're up a game. The downside is that I have no idea what we're doing. Further on the upside, we found a case where we won Confounding Conundrum. We have Mystical Disputes because they're a blue deck. Otherwise, I don't really... Shredded Sails? No, Shredded Sails is not really good enough just for... because we saw Gilded Goose. I think this is all we can do, and we'll figure out what we want to take out. I really like all these. I could take out... Too many lands. We have 18 lands in the actual main deck, so I can't really take out... Like, this is the thing, is like I would like to take out, like, Scatter Skull or Spike Field, because those didn't really have good targets. But I think I'm just taking out the Crash Throughs. Those seem just like the worst card. Actually, maybe Frantic Inventory might be the card we want to take out here. No, I'm gonna take out the Crash Throughs. Might be over sideboarding with this or the Mystical Disputes, but nah, I think that's just the problem with the decks like these. Not the problem, but the difficulty of playing decks like these is that you need just such a high threshold of stuff and a certain balance that messing with that proportions, even just a little bit, really messes up the deck. That being said, saying that being said a lot, I'm going to keep this, because even though we have mono 2-drops except for Mystical Dispute, I'm going to see if Confounding Conundrum is good, but also I think just Dorat into like Bone Crusher and keeping up, or like keeping up Mystical Dispute is good. Also think that because we're on the draw, we kind of need a more reactive hand. Alright. Alright, what do they got here? They could play a 3-drop. Sure. Actually, now I want to play Confounding Conundrum because if they have that. Okay. Sack this. We're getting a mountain, obviously. Yeah, that doesn't do us any favors, right? Or do I want to try and race this? Maybe I try and race it. Yeah, I think we're past Confounding Conundrum. It's weird that I'm saying we're past it because it's only turn 2, but I don't think playing an enchantment right now is going to do enough. So, funny enough, Arachnid is being put in to counteract the rogues. But that also kind of gets us. That is very funny. Alright. It's not bad. I think now I want to play Confounding Conundrum because I sense some mutates coming. I'm going to play Scatter Skull. Could play this. Actually, I think I'm playing this because I want to have mana up. Because next turn I can double Bone Crusher if they don't mutate onto it, or if they don't augment its toughness at all. Swarm. Sure. It's only an insect, right? Yeah. So I could pay 3 life, put this into play, Bone Crush or something, and play a Stormwind entity. I think I'm down for that. As rough as it is. I want to kill the Swarm here, nip it in the bud before it becomes a problem. Yeah, I'll let them have a 1/1 insect. I'll play Stormwind entity. What am I looking for here? I don't think Spikefield Hazard's really a card we want. I'm gonna take that Fabled Passage, just because it's another blue source and we're kind of lacking on that. They can mutate onto a creature and we're kind of dead. Okay, maybe we're not dead because that's just a 2/4. Yep, that's okay. No blocks. Okay. So we're gonna get a blue source here. So you can Bone Crusher something, which I don't think is going to be this Arachnid. I think it's just going to be one of these, and then playing Stormwind? Maybe not. Maybe we're just playing Bone Crusher and casting this Bone Crusher. Yeah, I think that's better. Because then when they attack us, Bone Crusher something in response. And we have a 4/4 to block the Migratory Greathorn. Okay, they have that to draw a card. Sure. That is also something that, you know, if they start trying to go off with, will be affected by Confounding Conundrum, interestingly enough. Okay. So that's actually fine, because if they attack us with that, we can Bone Crusher, we can Stomp that, and then trade. Please attack us. Thank you. We're gonna Stomp. I guess, let me block first. Just block, then Stomp. It's usually just better to do that. So we're at 3. Which isn't great. Oh. Hello. That works. Could do that, we could also just play Magmatic Channeler. Deal X damage divided as you choose. No. So we have to do 4. Yeah, we have to do this if we want to kill Baby Godzilla in something. I think it's actually better to play Bone Crusher and Magmatic Channeler. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And pass. We're at such a low life total, we gotta pass now. Might end up just like passing or chumping with Channeler if they have something that mutates. Yep. It's just a 3/4. I'll block here. Oh, sorry. Then they killed the Stormwind entity. That was a misplay. Yeah, that was not a good play. What do I do here? So I could discard this to try and get an extra card. See if we can get a good spell. Does that leave me dead? Yeah, that does leave me dead. Alternatively, I could play this Castle of Interest, cast Scattershell Smashing for 4. Right? Which would kill Baby Godzilla and an insect, and then I can block. Yeah, I think that's my best play. So, interesting enough, we actually do end up casting Scattershell Smashing here. So I want 3, and 1. Now, if they just mutate onto this, yeah, we're pretty dead. But I think this does give me an answer, ideas of what I want to do. Game 3. Okay, so we block here, and we can actually activate this and discard this Mystical Dispute, because it's not really doing much. I guess this was unfortunate because I get to play these, but I think we might as well turn through our deck. Oh, okay. Alright, we're gonna concede. So I definitely want to keep Mystical Dispute, I think. I think Mystical Dispute is a card to keep. I think Thundering Rebuke is a card we want back in. I don't think we want Negate or Crash Throughs. We don't want Red Crap Melee. No cards with flying, and I don't think Ember Cleave is a card we want. Otherwise, I think Confounding Conundrum is shown to be not great. And otherwise, I'm not sure. Could get rid of Royal Eruption. But I like the face damage. I'm just gonna get rid of a Mystical Dispute. I think just removal is like the better removal spell is fine. Get rid of their 4 toughness dudes before, and then maybe Brazen Bard. Yeah. Because I think with the Confounding Conundrum, even though it might kind of mess up some of their extra land stuff, we need to get out on the board early. I'm going to keep this. I'm actually going to play Scattershell Smashing first, because I find that I don't think I'm as likely to play this. Maybe I'm lying to myself. I think last game showed that Scattershell. I'm going back on my word. I lied. I'm sorry. I lied. Okay, I think this is a start that looks much more promising to us. Turn 1 Goose without and we didn't answer it. I think was just a little too fast for us, which happens. So I think now if we can answer some of their stuff. I do like the addition of the Hedron or in this list. That was cool. Gilded Goose. Makes sense. Alright, I'm going to just stomp it. Alright, there's a Fabled Passage. I think I'm just playing Bone Crusher here because, I could play these ops, but they don't do anything. They don't really advance my game plan right now. To see the Fabled Passage. Tap lands from our opponent. Araquanid. Arachneer, not Araquanid. Alright, Mystical Dispute's actually pretty nice because you get to counter stuff. I think I'm just attacking. Smack. And I'm letting our opponent cast a Mutate creature into our Mystical Dispute. Okay, so I do actually want to get a second red source because I want to be able to Mystical Dispute and Op here. There we go, Mystical Dispute. And that's why I think Mystical Dispute is good enough because there's blue cards that we can counter, but we can also just play a suboptimal mana leak. Alright, don't want another land. Ooh, okay. So this is really interesting. So you can actually Hazard Field this, which says if it would die, exile it. So you can spike it first, and then Bone Crusher it. I guess we can also just attack them, and if they block, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't think they'd block. Do I want to? I have to stomp here. All right, and I'll play this Castle Avengers. Fine. Oh, please play like something else. I can actually hit Mystical Dispute here. I don't think I want that. I'm just gonna pass. Alright, Shock. Did we just bottom a Shock? What a bug. What a bug. So I could. No, I can't Scatter Shell, yeah. Alright, I'll just attack. I think I'm just jamming a Stormwind here. like shocking or scatter shell doesn't do anything for me here. So I could actually take this land and be able to scatter skull something for 4, or scatter skull and shock, which might be enough to kill our opponent. Even if we don't kill them next turn, we can just play the Bone Crusher, and so far they're just getting value. They don't really have a lot of mana, and they don't have a way to really augment the power of their creatures well, unless they cast something. So for example, if they just use Migratory Greathorn, then, it's not really great for them. So here's a predicament. I think I just scatter Shoal for 4 here and try and kill this. Because I don't want to attack into, just submit, right? It's only creatures and planeswalkers, yeah. If they have a counterspell, they have a counterspell. If they activate Parcel Beast in response, it's fine. They also have a food, I might add. So, they are not technically dead here, now that I realize, but I do still want to get the Parcel Beast off the battlefield, if I can. Yeah, so that's kind of what I expected our opponent to do. And that's perfectly fine. They're on 3 lands at max, I could have 4 mana. It's going to be very difficult for them to mutate. And I think we'll be able to win the game, which we do! Awesome. Rank up as well. Nice. Alright, and that's gonna do it for this video. This was Izzet spells. I think the deck's, pretty good. Magmatic Channeler didn't really look, didn't really perform at the level that it would, and I think that was just how our draws turned out. Also, we only drew 1 copy once, so oh well. But I really liked Bone Crusher Giant in this kind of spells deck. I've always supported that. I've always found it to be effective. Right there, it was a removal spell, and was a 4 power beater, and Stormwind Entity. Just a powerhouse always. So yeah, I think the Pathway lands, and also most importantly, I think the spell lands are a really big upgrade. Spikefield Hazard and Scattershell Smashing. Scattershell Smashing, right, being a removal spell there, really powerful. And some additional sideboard cards with not Shredded Sails, Confounding Conundrum, and Thundering Rebuke, even though Conundrum wasn't really that good there. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what decks you guys are playing in Standard, as well as any other formats. And I'll see you guys next time.